I know in my previous video I had mentioned that I was going to do a Draw My Life video. My life would have so much that it would literally be like a half-hour video to try and explain everything in my life, and even then it probably would leave some really, really important parts out. I mean, you would have to go through born, a divorce, a new marriage, my troubled teenage years, my high school sweetheart of 3 years, getting pregnant right out of high school, moving in with my dad, my boyfriend while I was pregnant, then getting back with my baby's father, and getting, it's a mess of a video, and there's just so much, and there's a lot of tragedy and a lot of death in there that was kind of a big impact on my life. And I just thought it would be a little bit easier if I just did separate videos on certain things. So this video is going to be about how Ryan and I met, which isn't all that cute, but it worked for us. So, as some of you may know, but now all of you will know, Ryan and I are 10 years apart. That's kind of a big age gap. So I'm 23 and Ryan is 33. I was working at a tanning salon when we lived in California, and Ryan was coming in to tan to go to Maui, and I thought he was just this really nice and funny guy. He always had to wait for his bed because he happened to be doing our most popular bed that we had. And there was always someone in it, and then always someone waiting for it for the most part. So he was usually sitting there with us for a good 30 minutes talking to us. And over time he would come in and he would bring us cupcakes and sandwiches because he owned a sandwich shop / like deli cupcake bakery thing. And my friend Mackenzie, who I worked with, had taken his number out of the computer and was texting him while he was in Maui to bring her back a leprechaun, which was just her sense of humor. And I took his number from her phone and I started texting him, and he was so hesitant about me talking to him. Because of our age gap, I think it was, he was really, 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 really hesitant, and frankly, really, really rude to me. We started hanging out, but yet he would ignore me if I called him, and it was just kind of weird for a while. It got a little bit better as time went on. We had been hanging out for a good 2 months, and he was still kind of being a bit rude and just not very nice to me, and I was only gonna deal with it for so much longer. So we had plans to hang out on Halloween, which would have been about a month and a half, maybe 2 months of us hanging out. And I said to myself that if he was still being kind of like a jerk when we hung out, that I was just done, because it kind of sucks when you want someone and you feel like they could live without you. And I had said to my friend Mackenzie that I would marry him, but that he just didn't know it yet. Which Ryan says that I stalked him, and I definitely did not stalk him, but I guess it's kind of a funny story when you tell someone that your wife stalked you. We hung out on Halloween, and he told me to wait in the kitchen and to close my eyes. And he comes walking out with his hands like this. And he tells me to open my eyes, and when he opens his hand, there was a key. And he asked me to move in with him, which I was ecstatic because I was totally a gypsy, and I was like living out of my car, and I would stay at friends' houses, and my neighbor's house, and my mom's house, and I was just kind of everywhere, and just this total free spirit, and I loved it, and I'm still kind of a free spirit. I just have a home now, and a family. So as the night went on, he had one more surprise for me. And he comes out with this little box, and inside it was a promise ring. And I was shocked. This was literally like the best night that I had in such a long time. And it still makes me smile as someone that I thought didn't really like me very much ended up loving me. And it was amazing, and he's been perfect ever since, and he's so cute, and he's not very romantic a lot of the time now, but that's okay, because he's annoying, but I love him. But he told me that there was one day a week before he gave me the ring, and we were supposed to hang out at a certain time, and what ended up happening was he was a few hours late, and I was actually really upset. And he told me that he was with his dad, and that his dad was taking a little bit longer. He ended up telling me later that he wasn't with his dad, that he was in LA getting my ring, and he got stuck in traffic on the way back, and there was nothing that he could do about it, and he felt really bad because he wanted to tell me because he knew I was upset, but he couldn't tell me that because he wanted it to be a surprise. So I moved in the next day after Halloween, and I ended up getting pregnant with Taylor either in late December or early January, and that's when we decided that we wanted to buy a house. And my mom had told me that I had a few $1,000s, enough for a down payment on a house and a little bit extra from my grandparents. And with Ryan's amazing credit and that money, we were able to buy our own house. And so we moved in there, and we stayed there for a year, and Taylor was born in September. We got engaged that next February, and we got married last August, so that same August. And in September, we ended up moving here to Texas in our cute little home. So that's kind of our story. It is kind of a whirlwind, and we really did everything backwards. I mean, met, moved in, got pregnant, bought a house, then got engaged, then got married, then moved, bought another house. Yeah, so it works for us, but we're not very traditional people. So yeah, so that's our story. It's kind of interesting, kind of not. I like to say it was interesting. So next week, I think the video that I will be posting is Taylor's birth story, because I do see a lot of people on Instagram posting their birth stories and asking other moms about their birth stories. So I think I'll do Taylor's birth story and my whole pregnancy. It was a horrible pregnancy. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I will be doing that next week. And until then, follow me on Instagram if you're not already. I don't have a Facebook, but I do have an Instagram, and it is Gypsy Alley, and that is GYPSYALY. And I do have an ask.fm if anybody needs to ask me a question. Be nice. I see a lot of people on Instagram that have asks and just get bullied, and I don't put up with it. So thanks for watching, and I think that'll be it. I'm shocked that Taylor didn't wake up with my loud talking. Maybe I'll just do another video with her so that y'all can see her. So subscribe to my channel and keep watching, and I hope you enjoyed our not so love at first sight story. Bye!